Thank you for that kind introduction, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for braving the early and the cold to join us at the best place in the world, the University of Georgia. Yes. Again, my name's Hunter Fankhauser, and I am truly honored to be speaking to you this morning. Now, it has been a wild 4.5 years since I started here, and I've been looking back at pictures of my freshman year, and I honestly don't even recognize myself. Now, part of that is the balding, but seriously, I can't believe that kid is graduating now. As President Moorhead mentioned, I worked a couple different jobs here because, in all honesty, UGA costs a lot more than I thought. I don't think people really understand just how pricey it is to have to buy a new SEC or National Championship sweatshirt every year. It really adds up. It adds up. But I'm kidding. But yes, I was president of the club cross country and track team. I refed intramural sports. Maybe you had me for a game. If you had me for volleyball, thank you. Those were always so much fun. And if you had me as a ref for soccer, I'm here to say I am sorry. I've been lucky enough to have the whole Athens experience, from Saturdays and Sanfords to parking tickets on a Tuesday, or Wednesday, or any day of the week. But what I want to talk about today is my time coaching after-school sports at the Athens YMCA, which is something I've been doing for the past 3 years now. I've worked in sports like cross-country, track and field, soccer. Again, not my best. I just screamed "kick it" 500 times. But surprisingly to me, my favorite sport that I coached ended up being first and second grade basketball. Now, we're talking about an average age of 7 years old, with most of the kids being complete beginners. So for 2 whole months before the first jump ball, we practiced everything. And the first game eventually came with a mixture of excitement, nerves, and confusion. Because we can practice all we want, but it's hard to simulate what it's going to be like in a real game. I would, of course, be yelling the things we went over in practice as reminders, but sometimes it feels so impossible to remember and execute these in the real game, because the gym is loud and there's a lot of people watching. In reality, as the newest alumni, it's our turn to be the new guys on the court. So I thought it'd be fitting, since we are in Stegman, our own basketball arena, to go over some basketball basics, because they might just be the same reminders that we need to as we step out onto the court. So starting off with number 1, don't just stand there, dribble. When a kid gets the ball, they often smile, maybe even wave to their parents, but so often after this, they freeze, hold the ball, and just stand there. My first instruction is simple: just start by dribbling. Whether we want to admit it or not, we all freeze sometimes. Because it's one thing to be holding the ball, we feel safer, but it's a whole other thing to go do something with it. The kids need to dribble, but I can't do it for them. In fact, nobody can, besides themselves. It requires a risk, putting themselves out there and starting somewhere. When they do, they learn an important lesson. We are much more effective in motion than we are stationary. You don't have to be fast or make a beeline either, but when you don't know what to do or where to go, listen for where your heart is beating and start by taking that first step towards it. You will know where the basket is, but the ball will never get there if you don't start by moving it. Number 2, I often find myself saying this one a lot, is pass the ball. On one hand, a player will pass the ball when they're doing well and their teammates are in a good position to score. On the other hand, when the kids don't pass the ball, they often find themselves in a position where they're being closely guarded and they lose a clear vision of the court. When their teammates spot this, they'll move to help their friend out of the situation. My point is this: passing is both an active and responsive maneuver, and in all scenarios, passing is rooted in a mutual trust. I get it. We often don't pass the ball because we want to figure it out for ourselves and be the hero. Or we panic, or we simply forget to. I know my first reaction is to often metaphorically keep the ball to myself. I can't count the amount of times where I need to talk to a trusted voice of truth, yet I choose to remain isolated. Or I'll have good news to share, but I'll keep it for myself. A Swedish proverb says this: joy shared is double joy, and sorrow shared is half sorrow. In other words, life is better shared. Our successes and joys are best experienced and amplified within camaraderie. and the things that weigh us down are lifted when we invite others into our lives. Think about who you want on the court with you. Who do you want to play the game with? These chairs and stands are filled with current and future coworkers, family members, maids of honor, best men, whatever it may be. We have a big team. So never choose to operate as a basketball team of one. It's not the way the game is designed, and neither are our lives. We are made for community, so lean on each other. Number 3, classic, rebound. Rebounds are a very important stat tracked in basketball. And the great part about first and second grade basketball is that when one of the kids misses a shot, they often just catch it and they shoot it again, and again, and again, and again. I'm kidding, but unfortunately for a 7-year-old, most points are scored off of some sort of rebound. I came to UGA in August of 2020 wanting to be an orthodontist. I grinded through 4 pre-dental semesters until one day, in a moment of clarity and absolute panic, I had a massive realization that that is not what I wanted to do. So I took a 180. I became an accounting major. And in my first higher level accounting class, I didn't even pass it. I obviously did end up repeating this class, but I knew I had to bounce back with a new mindset the second time. And I found myself enjoying the class more and performing better. And it's because I developed a mindset where my missed shots were nothing more than that. As fall graduates, I'm sure it's easy to get somewhat caught up in the feeling that at least on paper, we are, quote, off track. Whether you're earlier or later than the typical 4-year mark, know that we all have a dog's resilience in common. I know I could have graduated more quickly, or with multiple degrees, or a higher GPA, or more honors. It can be easy to focus on what we could have done better. But the important thing is not the final score, but our determination and how we played throughout the entire game, even when things might not have gone as planned. We persevered and finished strong. Never allow yourself to be known or defined by the scoreboard. Rather, always leave being known for how you played. So with all of this said, I'd love to say that my team saw immediate fixes every time I told them something as their coach, but unfortunately, that is not the case. But what I can say with confidence, though, is that with each game, they consistently got better, with the skills, as individuals, and as a team. As we literally step off this basketball court and onto the next metaphorical one, remember the fundamentals because they will never go away. And before I wrap up, I want to say the biggest thank you to all my family and friends out there. I can't express my gratitude to each of you enough. Oh my gosh, sorry. But I want to take a moment to say the biggest thank you to, I'm so sorry. I want to say the biggest thank you to my mom. I'll finish. But growing up, my mom was all that we had. And from our apartment in Indiana all the way to now, whenever the winds and storms have come, the foundation never shook. I shouldn't have the joy that I have, yet I do. Because, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. While my mom is and has done so many great things for me, the greatest thing about her is that she does it all while acknowledging that she is not the one who saved my life. Instead, through the way she loves and gives and prays and worships, she has pointed me towards and glorified the one who did, Jesus Christ, and he's the only reason I'm standing up here today. So thank you, Mom, I love you. I'm so sorry. Sorry. Okay, so now, UGA Fall Class of 2024, it's our turn to take the court. We've done the practice, we know what to do. Now go forth with confidence. Know that we will always have a home court here under the arch. So wear the red number 24 proudly on your chest and know that we'll never bark alone. Congratulations, and for the last time as a student, go Dogs. Thank you.